Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. It is Fly Nubian Money. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're talking about something many economists are warning about a recession. The question is not just about I'm completely reading this completely wrong. Today, we're talking about something many economists are warning about. A recession. The question is not just what a recession means for the broader economy, but how it impacts Black families and businesses. And the bigger question is, how do we prepare now so we're not caught off guard later? A recession is generally defined as a significant decline in economic activity across the economy that lasts for an extended period of time, usually visible in measures like GDP, which is gross domestic product, employment, income, retail sales, and industrial production. The most common rule of thumb people use is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth equals a recession. And so today we're going to talk about it. Officially in the United States, recessions are declared by the National Bureau of Economic Research. They look at a wider range of data, not just GDP. This includes job losses, failing consumer spending, and declines in business investments. I have a PhD. I promise you I know how to read.
And those were your notes. I was like, those notes were for you. You can read them to everybody. Sure. Wonderful.
So, I'm Dr. LaNée Javette, and we are joined by some dope queens today to have this conversation. We have Shalaye Camillo here. I don't see her stuff. Thank you. CEO of Vital Source Realty. We have Nomalanga. She does 3M. I think it's motherhood, money, and what's the other one? Nomalanga. Money, motherhood. There's another one. I can't think of what it is, but there's 3 M's. I know it. And then we have Miss Black.
There's no way anybody who knows me can leave marriage out.
Marriage. Thank you. Thank you. Motherhood, marriage, and money. I don't know the order,
money
but I know
making.
3 M's. Okay. So recession.
And I'm Miss Black Hollywood.
I said you already. I already said you. I said you after Nomalanga.
You did not, but it's okay.
I did. I said Miss Black Hollywood after I said Nomalanga.
All right.
We'll say we'll introduce you again, Miss Black Hollywood, for the second time. So recession. Folks don't have jobs. The world is burning. What does recession mean to you when you hear the word recession? And first of all, thank you for the notes, because sometimes I'm not sure about that word. So I thank you for the notes. When you hear recession, Shalaye, what do you think? Is Rome burning?
When I hear recession, I think just a downturn, a slowdown of the economy. Something is slowing down, like the rate of acceleration that we were going at, we're slowing down a little bit, like a truck on the highway, putting on the brakes.
Putting on the brakes. What about you, Miss Black Hollywood?
Tiara.
Tiara.
When I think of recession, so when I think of a recession, I literally think the sky is falling. But I have to remind myself that in these times when we're like suffering as and I'm gonna just say we as not the 1% are struggling to make ends meet, dealing with inflation. I'm looking at these millionaires, even since the president has become president, his family fortune has increased to $10 billion. So we're not really in a recession. I think what's happening is that the market is crashing and he's doing what is advantageous for rich people. So
that's a really good point. What do you think, Nomalanga, when you hear recession?
It means that ordinary people are gonna suffer for a while. It's gonna get hard, and people are gonna be out of jobs. Marriages are gonna break up. Drug use is gonna increase. There's a lot of implications when there's a recession. And Tiara said we're not talking about the 1%. No, we're not. We're talking about ordinary people, and they suffer when there's a recession. They really do.
What mistakes do you think people make during a recession, right? Like sometimes the writing is on the wall, but sometimes it's not. However, right now we can plainly see the writing on the wall, right? So what type of mistakes do people make during recessions, or what type of mistakes do you think people make during recessions? Are they holding on to their money? Are they spending their money? Are they not investing? Should they be investing? Are they should they be moving into people's homes and they're not? Should they be downsizing and cutting off Netflix and Hulu? What do you think are some mistakes that people usually make during these types of times when the writing of a recession is on the wall? Shalaye, we'll start with you.
So all the things, right? Because it depends on everyone's specific scenario, and everyone's not in the same boat. But just from what I've gone through, and then what I know my clients go through and people that I know, one of the top things is failing to manage debt appropriately. Like the credit cards, because once you get into a recession and maybe you get laid off, or you feel like you don't have your emergency fund and things like that, you start spending money on your credit cards. And it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. You're just swiping, right? But that can pile up really quick. And compound interest is a bitch. Okay. So I would say definitely try to manage the debt and know what it is that you're spending, and cut off any subscriptions and things that you don't need anymore. It's time to kind of get back to the basics for a little while, but debt management is like number one in my book right now.
That's a good point. Tiara, what do you think? Do you think people should be prioritizing paying off their debt right now in case times get worse, protecting their credit? What do you think?
Absolutely. I just think that just a general understanding of what's going on is important. I think, as of late, I've been hearing a lot because of the confusion that is in DC and the administration. People tend to put their head in the sand and just say, I don't want to listen to any of it. I don't listen to the news. And what happens is that you don't know what's going on. Right. And when you don't know what's going on, you can't be prepared if you don't know what's going on. So I would just say aside from them just saying this is not what's going on, we're not in a recession. Exactly what you just read, 2 quarters does not indicate a recession, right? Like everything that is actually happening, they're saying it's happening, but that doesn't really mean recession, right? So I would say that we just have to make ourselves aware of what's happening, and then just start to realize what's happening in your household, right? What can you afford to stop doing, and just start to be mindful. That's all. I guess I can see. Just be conscious of what's happening around you and what's happening in your house.
Well, when you speak about what's happening in our homes, if there's a recession that's happening, if there's a recession that's looming over, the economy starting to slow down. Some people have jobs, some people are losing jobs. The government is looking like they might be shutting down. Again, more people are going to lose jobs. I think it's all tactical and strategic. But if all of these things are happening, how then do we have or create a savings fund? Let's say we don't have one and we see the writing is on the wall and we want to. Nomalanga, how important do you think it is to have an emergency savings fund right now? You're a mom, you're running a house, and Lord forbid something were to happen. How important do you think as a mom, or just a father, anybody, all of us, anybody, it is to have something
as a household?
Yeah, for a rainy day.
It's definitely very important, but it's also key to say that you don't have to wait until you see that a recession is coming. There are general fundamental practices that you should put in place, especially if you're a minority and you're living in America, because you know that you can't take for granted that you'll get a job, or when things go wrong, they go horribly wrong for us, and then maybe not so bad for the general population. But if we're in a recession, it's actually too late to do much. I equate it to similar to a burning house. Okay, if your house is burning and you didn't have a water supply, you didn't have a fire extinguisher, you didn't build a brick house instead of a wooden one. All those things, when it's now finally burning, if you didn't do all those things before it started burning, there's not much you can do except cry for help and blame people and do all kinds of other things. So it's really critical to have these practices in place. I believe in multi-generational living. I believe in children living in their parents' homes for as long as possible, saving up as much as possible, investing. There's so many things that you should be doing, regardless of whether there's a recession coming or whether you're in a recession, just to kind of inoculate yourself against anything bad, not just a recession. And unfortunately, being a minority in America, things are just slanted against you. So you always have to be in that mode of, let me protect myself. Let me make sure I'm going to be good no matter what's happening. I mean, I have like 100 things that you should be doing. You should have your little garden in the back. You should be living with your mama. There's so many things that you really, I think sometimes people put their comfort above a lot of things, but you don't get to be comfortable until you've adequately prepared for things like this. If you're not like feeling like, well, if it's a recession, I'm good, I got enough savings, I can do this, I can do that. And if you feel worried about it, it means you haven't adequately prepared. So you can't relax until you've adequately prepared.
I like that. You make some good points. My sister has chickens at her house right now, like legit live for real chickens. And these jokers,
So do we.
They have so many eggs. My mom is going over there. I was like, well, how come nobody told me about the eggs? I'm about to be doing some drive-by. Give me some eggs. She has one of those little paponic, whatever it is, vegetable things that you can grow. So she's growing they're growing their own vegetables, and they have eggs. And I was like, let me run around here. Let me find me some chickens so I can get me some eggs and some vegetables. But let's watch this video. We're going to watch our first video, and then we're going to come back and continue the conversation. We're gonna watch.
Mention that you see minorities, unemployment going up. You see younger people who are more vulnerable economically, more susceptible to economic cycles. That's one of the reasons, in addition to just overall lower payroll job creation, that shows you that at the margin the labor market is weakening.
Is the commissioner? Thank you, Dennis. Hydroponic. I appreciate you. You knew what I was trying to say. Is the commissioner for the people commissioner, or is he a Trump guy? I don't know. Somebody tell me?
Well, hold on. Let me get his exact name and exactly who it was. But basically, because I forgot his name right at this moment, now that you've asked, it's one of those moments. But basically, he was just saying what the stat, like just giving the reality or the grim situation. Like, this is what's happening. And the numbers are down for African Americans in terms of employment. For Black Americans, we are not getting hired as fast as others. We are, he's just basically spitting the stats. There is no Trump in there. He's saying we in a recession. So if y'all want to make sure you keep your jobs, if you have one, if you are Black or you are a teenage Black American, keep your job, because it's hard. It's going to be really hard for you to get another one.
Okay, so that does not sound like he's a Trump guy to me. It sounds like he's a real guy. Like this was really going on in the streets. This is what's really happening.
This was what Black people translated.
Federal Reserve Chairman translation. If you have a job, you better do your best to keep it, because minorities and young people aren't getting hired at the same pace as others. There it is there. Okay, that's what we're looking at. That's what we're dealing with. What do you think when you hear that, Shalaye? You have younger daughters, but this is the world that we're leaving for them. I mean, this is what's happening right now. But when you hear that, that minorities and young people are not getting jobs at a fast pace, What are your thoughts?
So my girls are young, but I also am looking to the future. And we don't know how the political climate and the racism that exists here in the United States and how it's being projected now very blatantly. We don't know how long the effects of that is going to last. We're seeing the effects of it. It's only been we're in September. He was elected in January, 9 months.
I forget that. I just want to stop real quick. Mm-hmm. It's only been 8 months. It feels like he's been president for years. He hasn't even been in office for a year yet.
We're 8 months in, y'all. And we're already seeing how the system, how fast it's going in opposition of our well-being. as a people, right? And I'm talking about as poor people, I'm talking about as Black people, and just poor people as a whole, right? And so when I'm looking at that, I am of the mind where I want to set my girls up to the best of my ability to not be in a situation where they cannot survive, right? So that means, you know, managing the debt, securing my properties, life insurance, investing what I can into stocks, and also just putting into them the mindset of having options and not just looking towards the job market to set them up. And they're super young. They're 3 tomorrow and 8 years old. They're super young, but I'm starting to have the little conversations about having your own business and things like that, which we can't put our heads in the sand about that too. Even if you have your own business, it's still dependent. Your money that you make is still dependent on money other people make in the job market. Like I could not sell homes if people didn't have jobs and they couldn't qualify for a house, right? So every branch of what we do in this economy is dependent on everyone else. And we can see that it's fastly deteriorating, and we don't know how long that's the thing that scares me. How long is this effect, this Trump effect, this whole DEI effect, how long is that going to last? And that's what we need to be thinking about as people without money or low income and Black people. How long is it going to last, and how are we going to prepare? Because we need to set ourselves up right now to survive and then also to thrive. So
set ourselves up and start preparing the mindset and the future reality for our children.
yes.
When you talk about not knowing how long it's going to last, but also the effect, you can see that in just that short amount of time of the pandemic, and those kids that were schooled at home and didn't have those social skills. We weren't in, but for a year, maybe 2 years or something like that. They might have went through one cycle of school without having the interaction, and you can see how that's playing out already,
Yes.
and the impact that will have for years. So that's a good point. How long will this last? But then what will the impact be? Let's take our a commercial break, and we'll come right back.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. You got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com. All right, so we're going to keep this conversation going. We're going to go to our next video, and then we're going to come back, and Noma, I have a question for you and Miss Black Hollywood, Tiara, Karma J, when we get back.
I'll right into it. So what I'm presenting to you is Building Your Economic Arsenal, which is a toolkit that I came up with in order to prepare those in my age group and above to weather any type of economic storm, especially because we have to approach this very strategically and build up your artillery, your weapons, and all the things in order to get through these times. So the first thing we must start with is the inside, which is the mindset, because as we know, the end determines the out. So shift from being in fear to actually seeing this as an opportunity to not only get ahead, but as well as to come out on the other side brighter. Because as I listen up here, careers and as well as big companies have been created during these times, including Hewlett-Packard, Walt Disney, and others. Now, we shifting over to financial. I need for you to slow down all of your afterpays of firms, all of that good stuff, so you can have a deeper handle on what your fixed costs are. And so you can also divert that money somewhere else. Because in diverting that money somewhere else, you're also going to build 6 to 9 months worth of savings and put that into either a high yield savings account or a certificate of deposit. But if you already have these things down pat, then you are ahead of the game, and as well as congratulations to you. Another thing that I need you to do is prioritize paying off high interest debt. So that is any debt that is above a 9% interest rate, or in some cases 8%. So that means that all of your credit cards, your loans, or whatever in which that you have. And then as far as your financial preparation as well, we need to prioritize building a relationship with community banks, because unlike big banks such as Bank of America and as well as JP Morgan, they are going to be more understanding to your situation from a local perspective rather than the big boys. Okay. Now, as far as our career, I need for you to be skilling up and as well as skilling across. And what I mean by skilling up is learning things such as data automation, project management, just skills in which that are going to be in demand for the future, as highlighted in the jobs of the future here. And also skill across. So things in which they can be utilized locally, whether you want to learn how to be a holistic health practitioner or you want to be a tailor, but find something in which that in case everything collapses, you can fall back on something which that you can do with your hands. And I also want you to be networking actively and as well as very intentionally. Be on LinkedIn, TikTok, build up your career profile so people know who you are and so you can leverage opportunities that will come from visibility. Okay. And last thing.
That was dope. That was super important, impactful, really good stuff. Make sure you send me that link, because I need to go back and watch it for myself. But I think that, and Nomalanga, I'm gonna ask you this question. When we're watching things like this, right? We at our, not our level, but in our generation are doing better than our parents did, right? Every generation does better than the generation before. And yet it still feels like we're just getting financially literate. Like we're probably, and that could be because we're just making this level of money. We have more Black millionaires and billionaires than ever before. And so we're literally just starting to make this kind of money. And so a lot of the things that are being taught to us and that we're learning, we're just getting it now. What are you doing, and or what can we all do as a community to make sure that we're teaching those types of skills, that type of information, that we're getting that and passing it on to the next generation so that they can be financially resilient? Like, we're hearing recession and we're trying to figure it out for ourselves, but what are we now? What are we also telling the youth, or what are you telling your kids about recessions and or being financially responsible and good stewards of their money?
So one key element of parenting is your children are not going to do what you tell them. They're just going to watch you and then do what you do, right? So it's not a matter of what we're telling our kids, it's what we're modeling for them. So when this lady was talking, I was kind of taking those things that she was saying and thinking, okay, what do I think about mindset? I like the shift from that mindset that, you know, well, I was raised, I'll speak for myself. I was raised by the 40-40-40 generation. What was it? You work 40 hours for 40 years, making about 40,000, something like that. And you retire making 40. Oh, to retire on 40% of your income, something like that. Mm-hmm. And that used to work. Grandma and grandpa, or mom and dad, managed to buy a house, put the kids through school, have some retirement, and just everything was okay. But we don't have that privilege anymore. You're more likely to lose your job. People don't stay in the same job from the time they start working until they retire. They change jobs a lot of times, and oftentimes it's not because they want to, it's because they get fired or let go, or a recession hits. So that's the mindset shift that you need to have. And the other mindset shift that you have to have, and I don't know, I can't tell with this crowd, but I'm probably the only person here who's lived significantly in 2 or more different countries. And I can tell you that's another way you need to broaden your mind. When I'm in America and I hear people talking, if I've just come from Botswana, the conversations are different. Or if I'm in Botswana and I've just come from America and I'm listening to the conversations, they're so different. You just need to broaden your mind. If the opportunities are not, then it's not just 2 countries, it's everywhere. Think globally. And thinking globally doesn't even have to mean that you leave your house. I have clients and customers, or whatever you want to call them, all over the world because I have a digital business. 90% of my income comes in through online income streams. So you have to broaden your mind and think about what markets can I tap into that if our market is not doing well, they're doing well. Then the other thing she was talking about was debt. I believe that you should really just avoid debt like it's going to kill you, unless you're going into debt because you're investing in something that's going to have a high return on that investment, right? So if you want to borrow money to buy something that you know is going to return more money, then that makes sense. But if it's just for a car and things like that, I think if you can't afford to buy a car cash, you just can't afford a car. That's how I feel. Then career. I think one of the things that we also have to model is multiple streams of income. On last night's show, we talked about Constance was the lead yesterday, and she was talking about Dr. Boyce says all the time, and he's an economist, he's a moneymaker, always says sell something, and that's actually true. Sell something. If you can't think of what to sell, buy something that somebody else is selling, add value to it, and sell it. Go on Amazon and do those. I can't remember what they're called, where you market products that aren't even yours, and you get a little bit of the sale. Yeah, affiliates. Sorry, I actually am an Amazon affiliate, and I can't remember the name. And the truth is, I can tell you, even on the Black Business School, I have an affiliate link. I have, like, if y'all have things going, if you have an affiliate link, believe me, I'm marketing it somewhere. And the wonderful thing about this is, I stopped working full time as an employee back in 2012. So it's been over 10 years. And to this day, I always get surprise money because I have online books, I have courses, I have so many things. And sometimes I just see like, boom, some money just came in, and I have even forgotten that I made that product and I published it. So that's one of the things, is if you really get into the habit of always having multiple streams of income, of always thinking, what can I sell? And it has to be things that you really believe in. Then the last thing is, if you don't know how to invest, learn. And I'll go back to Dr. Boyce. Yesterday, I was just watching, I started watching it and I'll finish it. He literally gives free information almost on a daily basis about, this is how you invest. If you don't know how to invest, here's the first few things you need to do. And it's like over and over and over. All you have to do is just absorb that information. If you're risk adverse, take just a little bit of money, throw it in there, see what happens. Mm-hmm. You might win some, you might lose some. But the thing is, the idea is to learn and to shift your mind from thinking that you just have to work a job to get money and replace your time for money. Investing gives you that advantage of, you could be somewhere doing something else and your money is doing something for you. So that's just maybe 1/10 of the list of things that I could say.
All right, Tiara, what about you and Lauren? What are you talking to her about around finances and preparing herself to go into the job market? I mean, how old is she? 15, 14?
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be looking for a job probably in a year or two.
Yeah.
Or is she starting her own business, or is she acting?
She works on television. But the thing is, when Lauren was like 10, Lauren had like $20,000 in her account, right? She was like, yeah, because my account, what we've instilled in Lauren is that if you work, if you work, when she was coming up, we put a script in her hand because, of course, her father and I work in the industry. So we just kind of gave her what we had and what we knew. And it's been really beneficial for her. Her dad is her manager, and he kind of coaches her and does all the things, right? And so for him, he's showing her how to make it in the business as an actor, as a creative. And then for mommy, she sees a different side of the business. Yes, I'm an actress, but also she sees her mom at home writing screenplays. She sees me ghostwriting books. She sees me and to she'd be like, I'm trying to teach her how to make money without even leaving the house. Yes, you can go sit on set for 10 to 12 to 15 hours, but I'm telling you, you ain't got to do that either if you don't want to. And so if she's taking it in is the question, because we're saying it all the time. But I've also been taking her to conferences. And so the last time we went to Miami, Boyce gave Lauren the mic and he kind of posed a question to everybody. We gave Lauren the mic as like one of my co-hosts. And she was like, let me just tell y'all what my issue is financially. And then she just started talking about she was like, as soon as I get money, I just spend it. I just spend it. And here's this 14-year-old telling these adults, and they could relate, right? The adults were like, me too, sis, me too. So she was like, yeah, when I was 10, I had $20,000 in my account. So I'm used to having money. Her talking, right? But she was like, but I just spend it. And so I know that's something that I need to really work on. So we're giving her information, and Boyce was like, okay, but also he tried to give her a job, and she was like, I just don't have time. So we're working on that part, because she's still a teenager in this. It's like when I was 5, and I know we need to go to commercial. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, I was outside in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with a lemonade stand across the street from my house. We were trying to sell things. When I was 8, I started a babysitters club, and I didn't understand when we were going to door. When I was going to door, I put together a script, and I was like, "Hi, my name is Tiara Williams, and I live right there. We started a babysitters club, and we can watch your infant for X amount of money, right?" And the ladies would laugh at us, and I didn't know why we wasn't getting a job, but it was because we were 8, right? Like outside trying to babysit somebody's infant, right?
You were 8, but you tried. You were
I didn't
trying.
understand. I was like, they was like, "We're gonna call you." I was like, "You could."
You were enterprising at a young age, didn't even know.
For a long time, I've been this way, right? So I'm trying to give that to her, and to be honest, I just don't think she has that. But I'm trying. But I think we spoiled her a little bit too much, and y'all can tell me how to unspoil my child.
I know we can't. I mean, I know I can't. I think
Nomalanga can.
Maybe Nomalanga can. I think that
Yes, he can.
we've grown, and we don't want our kids to have the same struggles that we have had, and so we give them more than what we had, so that they don't have it. But then they don't have the same drive and tenacity and get up and go and gumption that we have, because they don't know how to struggle like we did. So it's a blessing and a curse. Because I come from the school of do as I say, not as I do, because what I do is not right. I don't have the best financial habits. So I'm going to teach you what to do. I'm going to teach you how to do it right. But they still want, well, I see what you're telling me to do, but that's not what you do. Yeah, but I'm telling you, don't do like me. Do like this. Nah, I want to do like you.
Work.
No. Do as I say, not as I do. These kids don't know. I'm going to do what
we working on it.
Right. So let's take our commercial. We're going to come back, keep the conversation going.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments. Tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Even if you ain't struggling, we coming. You know, we don't got to be in a recession for you to tune in to Fly Nubian Money. You just got to tune in. You can go to flynubianmoney.com and check out the club. Get some resources, get some tools. We here. All right, so let's go to our next video, and then we're going to keep having this dialogue, this conversation around how to prepare. Is the recession here? What can we do?
True lead into this portion, where the investments in which I recommend as an economist right now is to buy into gold and silver-backed ETFs, and they have to be physically backed, right? Because those are considered safe haven assets. So in a stagflation and even a recessionary environment, these things tend to maintain their value and as well as appreciate in some cases. And gold has been appreciating, okay? She's been on a hot run. And another thing in which that you could consider is in real estate. Now, if you don't want to go out and buy an investment property, although right now we are in a buyer's market, they want to throw that in there. You can also invest in REITs or real estate investment trusts, to whereas you can invest in capital projects and also earn a return on those after they're done. Now, these do kind of take a little longer, but they tend to be well worth it with a trustworthy company, shall I say. And as well as if you want other things to invest in, as far as like when it comes to the stock market, I highly recommend in utilities and as well as consumer staples. And a bonus is, since we are most likely going into a trilateral, a world that has trilateral power, as when the US, China, as well as Europe has equal power, it would also be best to look into their stock markets. But again, I am not a financial advisor, but as an economist, since I watch this stuff, these are just my recommendations off of the data. And the last investment is going to be you, because you are the most important person. So make sure that you invest in your health, especially go on your walks, whether it's Pilates, skincare, whatever it is, because you are going to be the one that's going to make all these other things happen. Okay. Now, let's get into our last portion, which is the other things, but yet that are very important. So another local relationship that you should be focusing on building is with your local farm, because not only could you get cheap produce at cost, but you can also cut out the middleman, which is also a hedge against just rising prices in general. And you get to support your local economy. Or you could also grow your own, your own food, get you a cute little fruit tree, or get you some livestock if that's allowed in your neighborhood, whatever in which that you can do in order to fight back on costs. Because remember, us as consumers, if we demand it less, the price will go down. Now, this does not apply to luxury goods though, but when it comes to food, yes, it does, absolutely. Now, the next thing that you're gonna do in order to hedge against rising inflation is to get you a bulk membership card. So that is from BJ's, Costco, or Sam's Club. I'm a Costco girl. I go for the cheap gas and as well as the amazing goods. So get you one of those. And also, if you decide to say, you know what, this sounds cute, but I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. If you have to spend money, or should I say unnecessary money outside of your budget or what have you, I want you to only spend if you're going to have cashback rewards, or if you have a credit card that's going to give you points. Also, another thing which I need you to do is to stock up on your medications, because with the volatility of these prices, we never know what's going to happen. And also consider getting disability insurance, especially if you are the sole provider of your household. It is important that you have an income source that is more than the current unemployment payments, just in case anything happens. And this will allow for you to hedge economic conditions that may come towards you.
Yo, she gave out so much good stuff. I had never heard of a trilateral market before, but we are living in times we've never lived in before, so that would make sense. Goodness, where do I want to go? So a lot of what she talked about was keeping your money, what to do with it, how to manage it, where to invest, how to invest, why, things of that nature. Welcome into the room, Anonymous. We are so happy that you're here joining us today. Shalaye, what does profit in a recession really look like? Like, she gave a lot of different ways for us to save our money, but also for us to make some money, right? Mm-hmm. So what does profit in a recession look like?
That's a great question. What does profit in a recession look like? I would say you should look at profit in a recession, like a return on whatever you're investing. Now, those margins may be different. And I think that when we're looking at a profit in a recession, going back to the books and being like, okay, well, I'm used to having a profit margin that's here. But if I have a profit margin that's less than that, am I still surviving? Am I still able to float? Just like kind of bringing it back to real estate. So real estate, and some people, I get calls from people saying, investors know. They're like, okay, we're going into, it's a buyer's market. In most areas in the country, even in Boston and surrounding, it's becoming more of a buyer's market, meaning buyers have more opportunity and more opportunity to leverage and negotiate, right? So investors are calling me like, yeah, I want to get some multifamily property and things like that. I have clients who are on the fence, right? I don't want to buy because I'm scared of what the housing market's going to do. And everybody's been talking about this big recession or this big bubble that's going to happen in the real estate market, right? The fact of the matter is the last 3 recessions that we've had, COVID, people thought that was going to be the bubble. Real estate values skyrocketed in COVID, okay? 2008, that was a recession where values did plummet. Depending on the market you were in, it plummeted at different percentages. Some parts of the country, only 5 to 10%, some parts up to about 30%. But that was a housing-driven recession. And then the one before that was the dot-com one. What was that? That was 2001. And property values stayed the same or went up a little bit. But after all of these recessions, what has happened? Real estate has rebounded and then skyrocketed in value. So, for people who are like nervous about it, be nervous if you don't have strong employment or a strong way to pay for it. But generally, historically, that property is going to maintain its value. So that can be one of the strategies that people really put in place. Like, okay, I don't have a property now. Should I be looking at getting into the real estate market? Because the fact of the matter is, after this recession, if we're in a recession, after the recession, real estate values are probably going to go up. So you want to, whenever you have the opportunity for anything in business, right? You want to buy as low as you can, so that later on when you sell it, you can sell it at a higher, price. So you want to have those conversations with a real estate professional and see where you can get in. And the thing is, not all properties are overpriced. People are like, oh, properties are so expensive. I get it. And we're in a different environment than our grandparents and our parents were in when they were buying. But keep in mind, though, when they were buying, also wages were a lot lower. So that money that they spent, that $30,000 for that house or whatever, that was a lot of money to them. Think about what that real estate has done over the past 20 years.
People aren't even holding on to the real estate that long, which takes me to stocks, right? So when I think about profit in a recession, I'm thinking about all of the ways that the rich are making money right now, right? When they see that the stock drops, they buy. When it's a buyer's market, they buy. When there's a recession, everything slows down, and they make it almost realistic and possible for anybody and everybody to make money if you have some, right? So if we're going through and we're looking at our bills and we're reducing our costs, and I think that you should save some, but invest the rest. If you see that Starbucks or Apple or Nvidia or whomever, the stocks are dropping, buy them while they're low, because they're going to go high. There's these memes going around right now that says, look at the room. And you can read the room of all the CEOs and all the different companies that are in these rooms with Trump. Buy those stocks. The big boys, the pails, they're making money because they're watching the trends to see where the things are going. So that's how we also can profit during a recession. Spend your money wisely. Follow the money. See where the money is going. Are we at commercial? Do we need to take commercial? We good? We still good? Okay.
We're good. Go ahead.
Nomalanga, do you think that side hustles are a necessity during recessions? I mean, side hustles or just having a business or just having something that belongs to you that nobody can take from you?
Absolutely. I think you knew I was going to say yes already. And again, it's not even about the recession. It's something that you really should be doing as a general practice. It's something that your children should be watching you do it. I don't like the word hustle or side hustle, but I like multiple streams of income. I also don't like the word grinding anymore. I think I've just evolved past those things, but the principle is still the same. If you have a job, don't rely only on your job. Sell something, build other streams of income. And then what's important here is we're talking about investing and all that, but the average person doesn't know how to invest. So the lady who was talking so fast, I remember one of the things she says is you have to invest in yourself. And part of investing in yourself is educating yourself. And I remember I did multi-level marketing, and I'm not sure what it's called now, direct marketing, whatever it's called. You know, those Avons, Mary Kay, all those things.
It's MLM. It's still called that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I learned some of the greatest life lessons in those things. I learned how to sell, and I'm not saying you should go do an MLM. I learned how to sell. And then also I learned about personal development. Each one of them always had a component of invest at least an hour a day reading 10 pages a day of a personal development book. Whatever it is, we have YouTube, we have books, we have shows like this. You always have to be investing in learning something that you don't know, because obviously if you're broke or you're not doing well, it's because you don't know enough, because there are people who are doing well because they know things that you don't know. So the only thing you can really do is keep educating yourself until you get to that level where you're thriving and not struggling.
I love that. Tiara, I was going to ask you, why do you think recessions hit Black communities harder? But I don't want to ask that. Instead, I want to ask.
You already know.
So I'm going to flip it to make it more positive. We'll focus on the positive, which is what can we do to help Black businesses thrive during a recession? What does that look like? One might say getting on the Black Business Directory at Fly Nubian Money, but I'm not going to shamelessly plug because I believe that's our next commercial. But what are some industries or some businesses that Black people can get into that are thriving or that can thrive through a recession?
Well, I think that a bit of research. She also had a list, and I was going to recreate this list of like future jobs, and I'm going to do that along with my side hustles list that I have for absolutely free. If you send me an email at info@realvirtual.net, and I'll put that up in a
Is that
second.
the list that I didn't talk about on Tuesday?
Yep. So I have a 40, I have a side hustles list. There's 40 things on the list. There's 40 ideas on the list. You'll get that. And then just get like information about point of entry, how much it costs to get into it. Some of those things are absolutely free. So I would encourage you to email me. But outside of that, what I learned is like at this point, consumer spending is up to $2 trillion, right? We have that. But the way we're only patronizing 2% of our black businesses. 2%. 2%. 2%. That means that's 89% of other, you're giving your money to 89% of the
98%.
98, I'm sorry, 98% of the others, right? And so I would just say if we dared to increase that to 10%, it would be something like $400 million back into the black community. I think we calculated, Constance and I, a couple months ago, but it was something like that, like something minimal but amazing. 400 million, 500 million, it was something like that. It might even have been, yeah, I think it was something like that. But my point is, we're only spending at 2%. So if we can just be very intentional, you can get on TikTok, you can look around. Like Fridays is not the only day that I just spend with black businesses. I'm looking for black businesses all the time. Hence why we started the Black Directory. So I would just say that. Look around. We're around. We're around doing all the great things. That's what we do.
That said, let's go to commercial.
Let's do it.
Are you a black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Anonymous says, black business is everywhere in Atlanta. Not really that rare, but we don't all live in Atlanta. So
Right.
for the places, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So
Right.
I live in California.
In California, yeah. So where you live depicts and determines that, but also being intentional.
Yes.
Right? You stumble over black-owned businesses in Atlanta. In Arizona, you have to dig for them. You have to find them. Not for me. I'm connected to the black community, but I run across people all the time who are like, "Man, I can't find a black business to support." You can't. Like, how you don't know where the black business? I don't get it. I don't understand. But you have to be intentional. That being said,
You can also go online.
You can go online, yeah, but you can't.
But if you Google, because I've done this, if you Google black-owned business, and
you're not going to get.
They don't have that on their website or something like that. They may not come up.
Yes, we need good directories, updated directories, because even when you Google something, it might not still be up to date. You really have to be connected to the community.
TikTok is I don't know if y'all know, but TikTok has this beautiful underbelly of like black businesses like all over the place. You can just literally do the hashtag or type it in, and all of these businesses and great entrepreneurs will pop up with really cool ideas and businesses. So I would just encourage that.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm not really on TikTok that much, but
you can do Instagram too. TikTok or Instagram. That's what hashtags are for. You can literally put a hashtag. That's the reason why there are hashtags, is so that you can find businesses. So if you hashtag black-owned business, if you hashtag black-owned business Texas, if you hashtag black esthetician in the city, you will find them in your city. Like when I can't find something, I'm looking for a soul food spot, I'll go hashtag soul food. And I'll find all you. Yeah.
That's so business owners, PSA, we need to be putting hashtag black-owned business in our posts.
Yeah. Listen, that breaks the point. Let's do some stats real quick.
Okay.
And then we're going to keep the conversation going. So historically, recessions hit black households harder During the 2008 recession, Black wealth dropped by 53%.
Wow.
Compared to 16% for white households. I mean, god dang. Dang. In the last major downturn, Black unemployment hit nearly 17%, double the national average.
I think we're there right now.
Consumer debt in the U.S. is at an all-time high, more than $17.5 trillion. Consumer debt, same thing, all-time high.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm.
No worries. According to Forbes, most millionaires are made. This is what I was talking about right here. Profit in a recession. Most millionaires are made in businesses that don't look glamorous on the outside. Right now, this is the time. Start an unglamorous business. What do we need? What don't we have? What are people willing to pay for? All of those things. How can we recession-proof our businesses, our companies? What should we, as for those people that do have a business right now, a Black-owned business, and you are trying to figure out how to hold on to your business? And let me tell you why I asked. This is a great question because I'm a business coach. I'm a monetization strategist. I help Black people specifically who have a business, a concept, an idea, or a service that they sell, meaning you sell something that you know, help you monetize that when you go out into the world so that you can make money, all right? Right now, people are scared and they are holding onto their money. And so because they're holding onto their money, they're not paying for services like they used to. They're not going out and hiring people. People are doing a lot of do-it-yourself. And because of that, clients are like, yo, I don't know if I can do coaching, or I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I can do that. I need to hold on to my money. So if you're an entrepreneur, really in any industry, it doesn't matter what it is, t-shirts, sales, real estate, whatever the case might be, and you are dealing with clients or customers who are afraid, then your money drops because people pay you. And if they're afraid, they don't have the money to come out and be like, hey, let me give you this all willy-nilly. They're saying, I got to hold on to this because I don't know what's going to happen in the marketplace. So what are some things that people can do to recession-proof their companies? Anonymous said, Walmart is recession-proof. The reason why is everybody got to go to Walmart, right? They have every single necessity that you need. Toilet paper, dishwashing soap, eggs, bread, radio. I mean, they got everything, right? Side note. This is a complete side note. I know we boycott Target, but I just feel like how we boycott Target and not Walmart.
I don't go to Walmart.
I just felt like we could have took the money from Target and gave it to Costco, Walmart, and everybody else. However, I don't know how we would live without shopping, but it's just crazy to me that we take money from Target and just go give it to Amazon, Walmart, the grocery store.
Well, we stay with Costco because Costco stood on business. Like we like the way
Costco's fine.
We like the way they responded to Trump. They said, listen, we're not doing that over here. Whatever you're talking about, like going against we're not doing that. Diversity is welcome here and we're not doing that. So Black people was like, cool, we like what you stand for. So that's why we still go to Costco.
Okay, so Costco's on the list. Walmart didn't say nothing.
Walmart didn't say nothing. So that's why we stopped going.
Okay. So what about Amazon? Amazon didn't say nothing either.
We don't do Amazon either.
So where we going?
I should say though that Amazon's a little bit different in the sense, like for example, I've had like a product on Amazon. Like you just got to be mindful of exactly who you're buying from on Amazon. It's like a payment portal.
How do you know that?
I do have Audible though.
Like yeah, if I'm talking right here and I'm talking about my book, I'm likely to say you can get it on Amazon. So you're getting my book, but you might be getting it through Amazon. Although there could be other channels. I just know that it's more of a mixed masala. Amazon mix, yeah.
It's again. Sorry to get us off track.
I was gonna say because you didn't let.
I know. I opened the door to something. I was like, my bad. But so let's get back to recession-proofing our businesses. Shalaye, how can folks recession-proof their business?
So I'm gonna say something that may not be viscerally comfortable just hearing it, right? I feel that a lot of businesses, first of all, we need to be looking at our expenses and cutting back I'm speaking to myself. We need to be cutting back things that we don't need and stop going after the shiny penny, getting back to basics, shiny objects, right? But also a lot of people may be cutting back on promoting themselves, specifically investing money into promoting themselves, online ads and things like that. The more people who don't do that, the more opportunity there is for you to continue to put money into investing yourself so you stay out there. So I would say go ahead. Yep, I would say go ahead in a recession. And this is specifically in real estate, what I've been watching even when COVID happened, and following this, and in my coaching group, we've been following this and masterminding. And a lot of agents were like, oh, COVID, we got to hold on to the money and everything. It's going to be a recession and stuff like that. And those businesses that actually put more money into it and were more front facing, those were the ones that people thought about when they did need. So that's what I would say.
All right. What about you, Norma? We have like 5 minutes. We got to keep our answers short, but what do you think, or what advice would you give to a business to help it to be recession proof?
The two things, and I kind of already mentioned them. One of them is you're going to build multiple streams of income. And even if you have a business, you can still diversify it and add other products and stick to things that are actually necessities. You kind of said it like, well, people don't spend on this, they spend on that. But there are absolutely things that we can't do without. And if you can find just one or two of those things, and even if it's just a simple matter of buying low, selling high, that's it. Just something that already exists. You don't even have to manufacture it. You don't have to do anything except buy it low, which is in bulk, and then resell it as long as you have a market to throw it out to. Then the second thing is, and I said it already before, is you have to broaden your horizons. Sometimes there's a recession, or the recession is felt in one area, one state, one country, whatever, more than in others. And if you educate yourself, you'll understand that, oh, when they're down, they're up. And then kind of go there. And like I said, if you're building your businesses with the idea that because I live in Atlanta, my clients don't all have to be in Atlanta. If you build businesses that way, where you broaden where your client base is and how they can reach you and how you can reach them, you can survive any recession and you can survive any downturn, because when it's bad here, you just go over there. And when it gets bad over there, you go over there and you will survive, I promise.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Tiara, I want you to answer that as well. What can Black-owned businesses do to recession-proof their business?
So I'm just gonna tell a quick story. So a couple years ago, a strike washed over Los Angeles and Hollywood in particular. I work in Hollywood, right? And I just finished writing a screenplay for Morris Chestnut, right? And I was like, man, we about to produce this. Now, this is right before the strike. We started talking about doing pitches and going out and selling the film. Morris was going to star. I wrote myself in it. All the things. I'm like, it's time, right? And then a strike hit, a writer strike and an actor strike. And I was out of work after that for a year. It was 11 and a half months. And still the industry is struggling. What I did in that time, because it really, I didn't have enough savings for a year. Like I wasn't prepared for a year of being out of work. I'm not saying I got an IRA and all the other things, but I wasn't prepared for a year. And it really shifted. What I love about myself is I was like, you know what? I can use the skills that I've learned in Hollywood and work with regular entrepreneurs and teach them how to create podcasts, how to write their own books, it really was like a mindset shift for me. And I pivoted, and I have had clients ever since. Like I feel like the first person that I reached out to was Dr. LaNée. And I said, listen, right, I'm doing a virtual thing, right? I'm doing a virtual assistant thing. And after that, I want to say 5, and just me having a network of people, 5 people responded to my email. We signed 3 of those, and that was 2 years ago. And we've had clients ever since. So I would just say, don't be scared to pivot, and know that sometimes God is shifting your direction. So I don't have to be dependent on Hollywood at all. I still work in Hollywood, but it doesn't define whether I can work or not. So I would just say, just don't be scared to pivot and use all the skills you have, and teach someone that may not work in the industry that you're in. So be creative.
you took my word. I literally wrote pivot, and you were going down the road, and then you turned left and you said pivot. So I'm going to take pivot from a different angle, and that is get out of your own way. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we get it in our head that our business is supposed to look a certain way and it's supposed to serve a certain kind of person and we're supposed to do a certain kind of thing. When the market shifts and the world shifts and downturn happens, what do people need? Sell them that, right? Pivot to whatever that thing is. Kind of like what Tiara saying was, well, I know people still need virtual assistant services. They're in the house, right? What does somebody need and how can you sell it to them? Like that's the pivot. That's how you recession proof your business. If everybody is inside and your business is renting bicycles, it's not going to work. Like you got to figure out, okay, well, if I can't sell you a bicycle, maybe I can show you how to do exercise in your backyard, doing like pivot, go with the industry. Don't keep trying to sell something that people don't need. And I see a lot of businesses do that. You get stuck in, well, this is my business. This is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, but people don't need that right now. What else can you sell them? That's how you recession proof your business. Always have something that is a necessity that people can't go without. Go ahead, Tiara.
Can I just ask this question and pose this? So last week we went and saw Chris Brown and literally every seat was full, right? But we're in a recession right now. So people will still get up and go see Chris Brown and Beyonce and put on their cowboy boots and their hats and all of that. And so I've been trying to really understand, like there's a part of me that still feels like people will do it, whatever it is that you have. So whatever it is, right? So I'm always on the fence about that because I feel like people will do what they want.
Value.
They'll make a way for what they want. There you go. Value. They'll make a way for value.
That's it. Value. I think that's what do they value? Yes, I wrote that down.
And unfortunately, we value entertainment.
They value.
Well, I feel like entertainment also, especially when you're in a situation where you're feeling down, sometimes you need those things and you will invest in that to feel better in the moment. And that could propel you towards, your next thing, because sometimes you just gotta
that's just rubbish, and that keeps us poor.
No, it ain't rubbish. It's real.
No.
It's real.
It's the dopamine. It is real. It is real. But it's dopamine
chemical.
Is what it is. You the energy. It takes you from yourself. It's like when you smoke, do drugs. It's the dopamine. So in that moment, you're out of yourself and you're having a great time. And it's and as soon as you walk out the door,
exercise.
Well, not necessarily. That's last.
Those get a husband and have lots of sex.
It's the same thing. It's still dopamine.
I'm not like that.
Said you better go run and go have some sex.
It's the same husband. That's the scientific makeup of our body. It's still dopamine.
Some dopamine, sis.
Okay, so we're gonna do final thoughts. We're gonna do our last little roundabout with our final thoughts on our topic for today. First of all, in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here and chiming in. Last question: what is one practical step that viewers can take right now to get recession ready, and/or how do we make sure a recession doesn't set us back another generation in wealth? Okay, that's the question. So you can answer both pieces or one, but you got to do it in less than 60 seconds. We'll start with you, Nomalanga.
Yeah, so family is everything, guys. And I can't stress enough how when you have family support, live with your family if you need to. I know some people's families can be dysfunctional, what have you, but you're literally pooling all your resources into one place. So you're not wasting money going out into 5 different households or 4 or 3 or whatever it is. Pool everything together, stay in one place, eat together, grow together, do everything together. And you can do that long term, or at least until you feel like everybody's stabilized. So I can't stress that enough. Family is the foundation of building wealth. I will never stop saying that. And marriage is the foundation of family. So family, look to your family. And if you don't have a functional family, build one. We have masterminds, we have groups, we have all kinds of things where you're building communities, where you serve each other and help each other. I think my 60 seconds is up. My name is Nomalanga. You can find me on Facebook as Nomalanga Shalaye Moses. You can find me on Instagram at Nomamoses. And then if you want to check out my ebook, it's at themochamoguls.com. And then my always and last plug is always, we have a foundation or a charity here in Botswana that I started, and it supports period poverty. We have young girls in rural areas who don't go to school literally because they're on their period and they don't have the sanitary supplies. So if you'd like to support our charity, it's padsforourgirls.com. And I do want to say one last thing. I get so much support from our audience at Fly Nubian Money. Like usually when we come out for show, I get some pings and I can tell people are donating because they've watched the show and they want to support us. So I really am grateful.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Shout out to the audience and the chat and the people who show up every day. We appreciate you. We really do. Shalaye, what are your final thoughts around a practical step the viewers can take right now to get recession ready, and or a way to make sure that that the recession doesn't set them back another generation in wealth? It looks like you're saying some good stuff, but we can't hear you.
Sorry. So I was saying, others who build wealth during downturns and recessions, basically what it boils down to is they prepare differently. And so I believe that we need to get out of the mindset that we operate in normally and really jolt ourselves out of that and prepare differently. So that's intentionally saving. That is, like Nomalanga said, I wholeheartedly believe in multi-generational living. Okay. Pooling resources. It's managing that high interest debt. That's the first thing that I said, that Economists said it too. Managing that high interest debt. If you're able to pay it down, do that, because it's going to compound, especially when you need to use it more. And really using whatever it is right now, determining what is it right now that you have. If you have $5,000, what can you do with that $5,000 that is going to best set you up so you're not in a worse situation? Whether that's taking $1,000, starting a painting business or a cleaning business, or taking $2,000 of that and paying down that or paying off that credit card, or saying, I have 5, my cousin got 5, this cousin got 10. Let's pool together. Let's buy a multifamily house. Let's live in one unit and rent out the other one. What are the things that, like, make a list of 5 things. Like, what do you have? What are 5 good things that you have right now? And what are 5 good things that you can do with what you have right now? So that's what I would say, like a super practical thing that you can just do today. I am Shalaye Camillo with Vital Source Realty in Boston, and I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the United States. And so you can reach out to me and contact me at vitalsourcerealty.com. I am also on Instagram. Follow me at Shalaye Camillo.
All right. Love it. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis said your hair is beautiful. He said, all y'all got beautiful hair. All y'all is beautiful. Y'all woke up like this. Thank you for the love, for the shout out. It's always great to receive appreciation from the Black man. That said, Miss Black Hollywood, Tiara Williams, Karma J, what are your final thoughts?
What? You go ahead. You were about to say something.
Oh, your final thoughts. What's a practical step viewers can take right now to get recession ready and or to make sure that recession doesn't set them back another generation of wealth?
Yeah, for both of those answers, my answer is kind of the same. Is to get you a tribe. I think I say this all the time, like, prayed for a tribe, got a tribe. While there is things happening, it's something about looking over and seeing, like, well, if it's not happening to LaNée, or if it is, and watching how she pulls through, then I guess I can. Just being constantly stimulated by good ideas and around people that you see working hard and still, like, rising, although things are happening around them, has really changed my life. And also what I believe is possible for myself. You know, I was like, okay, outside of the investments that I already have, I want to create a capital base for options. You know, this is my goal for this year. So I was like, I want to, between this year and next year, come up with X amount of money. I'm not going to say the amount, but I just, in the middle of a recession, that would be crazy for me to say that's what I'm about to do. But I'm doing it because I'm seeing people do it and not only they're thriving. So I would just say, aside from like stock options and really investing, not to to keep doing it. Don't, like, go through the recession and then be like, whoa, wait, this means I can't invest nothing. Invest, because you're going to spend the money anyway. You're going to spend it on something else. So make sure that you just keep putting your money away. You keep investing. You keep doing those things that you're doing. Just hold fast. Trouble don't last always.
Listen, trouble
If you
don't
want to follow me, I am at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms. I also have just put out an album. It's called The Love Hangover. And yeah, go to karmaj.com if you want to support me directly, or you can stream it too. But you know, they only give me a cent per stream, so I would go to karmaj.com and just support me. Jump in the listening room.
Jump in the listening room. All right, so what can we do? How do we make sure that a recession doesn't set us back another generation in wealth? And I think it really boils down to being intentional, right? I think everything that we talked about today really comes down to be intentional. Be intentional about your family. Be intentional with your resources. Be intentional with your finances. Be intentional about getting a business. Be intentional about getting married and having some sex. Like, just be intentional. I think we move fast. I know I move fast, right? And so you're kind of doing the things that have to get done, but not the things that you really need to do. You're doing the things to stay above water, but not the things that allow you to float, right? So if we were more intentional with the things that we do, the tribe that we have, the people that we talk, the money that we spend, the rooms that we're in, the conferences that we go to, I think we can recession proof. I think we can make sure that we are creating wealth. We are having conversations about wealth. We are becoming financially literate. We are making the right investments. We are making the right purchase if we were intentional. So that's what I would say. I'm Dr. LaNée Javette. I am a brand year brilliant strategist. I specifically work with Black-owned businesses who have something that they want to sell and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to monetize it. They don't know how to pull the value out of it. I help them build products and services so that they can make money. And so if you are looking to make money and profit during this recession and you're trying to figure out what can I do? How can I do it? What do I have to sell? Or if you already have a business, but you feel like I'm not making the money I'm supposed to be making right now, how do I pivot? How do I find what the necessity is so that I can make money? Holla at your girl. You can follow me on social media at I am Dr. LaNée Javette, or you can go to my website, drlanejavette.com, and we can have a conversation. All right. So recessions may be inevitable, but being unprepared doesn't have to be. For Black families and businesses, the key is protecting what we already have and positioning ourselves to take advantage of opportunities that come when others are pulling back. Remember, here at Fly Nubian Money, we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. We thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you for joining us every day. Make sure that you know if you miss us one day, you can catch us on Spotify. Go look up Fly Nubian Money, or you can rewatch on YouTube, or you can join the Fly Nubian Money Club and get even more resources and tools and knowledge up close and personal. Go out, be blessed, have a great day, stay Black, be beautiful, and be one. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.